Stretch with Dave. Today we're just going to be going through a quick 15-minute stretch. I do have the screen up on the side so I can't see your comments, except for when I'm doing the door frame stretch. I won't be able to see you. But like I said in the description, you can be doing this in any clothes. We will be using a chair today. This is very full body. It's going to be a good stretch that you can add into your weekly routine. We are going to start with our door frame stretch. So I'm just going to start, you can do this on a wall, any sort of like supporting beam in your house that runs vertical where you can get your arm, palm up, just below shoulder height. I'm twisting through the top with a straight extended arm, as you can see. And that's creating a stretch in my chest and in my shoulder. And just a great one to start with and open up. Especially if we've been sitting for a little bit while, or we've just been a little bit forward. Even when people use their phones nowadays, they're internally rotated, and these chest muscles are short and tight. So it's good that we take this time to extend and open up, lengthen those muscles, and give ourselves a little bit of a break and a little bit of relief. We're going to switch sides. Hopefully you can still see me. Yeah, I'm still visible there. So we're switching sides. Same thing applies. Palm is up. Arm is extended and just below shoulder height. And we're just stretching out those muscles again, because we don't want those muscles to become short and tight, because that leads to injury in the shoulder over time. General discomfortness. You might start feeling some tightness and pain around your neck. So it's important that we take the time to stretch, open up, take a little bit of a break, and get those muscles moving a little bit more and in the opposite direction that we're used to. So for this next one, you might want something to help you balance. Our TFL plus hip stretch is going to strengthen a lot of the muscles that get tight from sitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, it looks like I have a comment. Oh, hi Donna. It's hard to see from this angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an exaggerated step forward with our right leg. Our left leg, we want to make sure that it is within hip width. My left leg is back. So my left arm is going to come up and over, and I'm going to actively push my left hip towards my right knee, and you should feel that stretch migrate a little bit when you push that hip inward a little bit. And then just by having this arm up, almost like a ballerina, we're stretching out those lats, lengthening that back. And we'll switch sides. So this time I'm going to take, I'll go this way. This time we're going to take an exaggerated step forward with our left leg. Again, that right leg is within hip width. We're going to push our right hip inward towards our left knee. And that right arm is just going to come up. If that ballerina, feeling that stretch all on the side there, and then as we push that right hip in towards that left knee, we're stretching out the TFL a little bit more. You might feel it a little bit more on the inner hip there. Great stretch if you are a runner, but great stretch if you find yourself seated a lot of the time as well. Okay, and we can relax there, just shake it out. So I have the chair child's pose. You could just do a regular child's pose if that's what you're more comfortable with. But I have the chair in case you don't want to be getting up and off the ground. So what I do here is I just put my hands on the chair and then I push my hips back as far as I can, allowing my head to fall between my elbows. And I try to keep my hands on the chair and slide, get a little bit of tension. as much as I can just to stretch out those lats a little bit more. But again, if you wanted just to go right to the ground to do this, you can go right to the ground and just do your regular child's pose, whatever's most comfortable for you. Friday, I'm going to try to incorporate a bit more of our ground stretches. So that'll be a warning for Friday's stretch class. For a 3-point hamstring stretch, what we're going to do is, a lot of people don't know this, but you actually have 3 hamstring muscles in each leg. So to stretch it, we just essentially need to turn our hips different ways. So toe pointed towards the shin, leg is straight, and I'm just hinging forward a little bit. And most people will feel the stretch in their hamstrings there. Make sure that leg is straight and toe is pointed towards the shin. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch in the calf. Again, important we stretch these hamstring muscles because when we're seated all day, our hamstrings are flexed, but they're getting weak because we're seated, so they're not loaded. So it's also important that we work them as well. So what we're going to do for our next stretch is we're going to turn our torso towards our left leg there, the leg that's on the chair, and that's migrating the stretch. And then we're going to point our right foot out, and I'm going to turn my torso so that I'm opening up and facing the same way that my right toe is facing. And you can feel how that migrates the stretch a little bit more to the center of the body, the inside hamstring almost. Side. So right leg's going on the chair, leg is straight, toe is pointed towards the shin, and then I just slightly lean forward. Yeah, probably one of the most important muscle groups to stretch, I would say, is those hamstrings. Anything along the hips is going to, including the low back, is going to save you a lot of discomfort. So we're pointing out first because this is just sort of where I went. We'll have to pivot twice. Left toe is pointed out. I'm now opening up. You can see me a little bit better from this side. Again, toe is still pointing towards the shin and the leg is still straight. And that just aids to the hamstring stretch, making sure that it's most effective. I'm just going to take a second to reset here so I don't have to pivot. And then I'm going to turn my torso towards the right. This one, when we turn our torso towards the leg that is on the chair, tends to be the more intense version of the stretch. Okay, and we can relax there. So we're going to do our chair triangle. I'm just going to see how I'm doing on time. Make sure we're all hunky-dory there. So right hand on the chair, right leg forward, left hand on the inside of the right leg. We've been doing this one for a little bit, and we're just going to turn it open. I like this one because it's relatively easy and effective. It's relatively easy and very effective at getting the T-spine moving. If you follow your gaze with your hand, you're also moving your cervical spine at the same rate, which is great. And we'll reverse, so left hand on the chair, right hand on the outside. If you have difficulties with your shoulder and it's difficult to move through this motion, just put your hand on your ear and rotate out that way as best as you can. And if you put your hand on your ear, you're really limiting the stress that you're putting on your shoulder if you have shoulder difficulties. All right, so we'll go left hand on the chair, left leg forward, right hand on the inside of the left knee, and then we just turn it open that way. Most people, so this is the regular triangle. Last one we did was the reverse, where we're sort of going the other way. Most people have an easier time with the regular than the reverse. So if you're finding that, no worries there. And then we'll go reverse. So right hand on the chair, left hand on the outside of the left knee. And if you want, you can get a little bit of an extra calf stretch by, you see how my extended leg, my heel is up? I just press my heel down. And now I'm stretching that calf as well while doing these reverse triangles, keeping my gaze on my hand as I rotate through. We'll go one more here so I lost count. Good. And then we're seated on our chair. We're going to do our chair pigeon, so I'm just going to cross my left leg over my right. So now we're stretching out that glute med a little bit more. Again, I've said this before, but just get so tight when we're seated. And most people, it gets very tight when they're walking because their toes are pointed out. It gets tight when they're squatting, again, for the same reasons, and the squat actively works those muscles. So just taking the time to loosen that up a little bit, very important. And again, like, this is easy, right? You can be sitting in your team's meeting, you can be sitting in the crane, you just gotta, cross your leg over, lean forward a little bit. This can be done on a wheeled chair as well, as long as you're supporting yourself safely and making sure that you don't roll. Helps if you can push it against the desk as well, so that you don't roll. But it's, I do this stretch all the time on a wheeled chair. And we're gonna go back to the first side. I like to do this one twice. I find a lot of people just get that extra little bit of a stretch the second time through. And we'll go back to the second side. Okay, and you don't, with a lot of my videos, I try to make it, you don't need to do these all at once, right? I know some people are so busy that even 15 minutes is hard to get that time all together. So you can always, on YouTube, just pause this, do a few stretches when you can, loosen up a little bit, because it's just so important, not only physically to take a break, but also mentally. So we have 4 more stretches. Side lean with our shoulder stretches. We're going to take an exaggerated step to the right. I'm going to push my hips to the right. I'm going to bring my left arm across, and then the right arm comes underneath. Pull the elbow towards the shoulder while doing that side lean. So now we're stretching the groin of the left leg and the left shoulder. It's always good to be efficient with our stretching so that we can get the most out of it. It's not always the most exciting. It certainly feels good to stretch. So it's good that we get as much as we can in each stretch. So we're going to take an exaggerated step to the left now. Right arm comes across, left arm underneath, pull the left elbow towards the left shoulder, and then continue to push those hips to the left, and you feel that stretch in the right, the inner right leg there. All right, and these last sort of couple are very quick. So we're just going to do some arm swings just to shake everything out. You can even shake things out if you want. Standing twist, so I'm just going to interlock my fingers behind my head, pull my elbows back, and just sort of allow myself to get a little bit more T-spine rotation. Shake things out again, maybe a little hip hinge forward, all the way up. And then we're just going to go upper trap next. So right ear to right shoulder while pulling down on the left arm. So right ear to left shoulder, pulling down on the left arm. Doesn't have to be a huge pull. You're not yanking your arm in a socket, just to provide a little bit of an extra stretch We'll switch sides because we don't hold that one too long. So left ear to left shoulder, pulling down on the right arm. Look all the way up, look down, to the left, to the right, sort of shake it out. That's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know. Anyway, you can't cut off my own head here. Wednesday, we have the dumbbells class with me, and then Friday, we're going to be doing our stretch video again. Like I said earlier, the stretch for Friday, we're going to be a little bit more on the ground. If you have a towel, if you have a resistance band, also bring that. It will aid with the class immensely. But I hope you guys enjoyed that class. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on Wednesday.